again, everyone. Welcome back to Vickie's Country Home. Today we're doing the second installment of our collaboration for Mix It Up Pantry Mixes Collaboration with Mrs. Katie from Heritage Ways, Mrs. Lori from Whippoorwill Holler, and Constance from Cosmopolitan Cornbread, and Tammy from Little Jordan Farms. And so, as I said in my last video, this is probably from me going to be spice mixes, because baking mixes, rice mixes, potato, anything like that, we can't have on the keto diet. And if I have it here, we're gonna want it. So I'm not gonna make those. Or let's say I don't think I'm gonna make those, but we'll see. So today I'm gonna bring you some more spice mixes. And these are some of the things that I use a lot of. And if you watch my videos, you know that I love seasonings. I have a lot of seasonings and I use them because that's the difference between a so-so meal or something really good. And I like really good food, which is why I'm trying to lose weight. So today I'm gonna show you how I make some Cajun seasoning and some seasoned salt. And you probably have most of these ingredients at home. You might not have all of them, and you don't have to use all of them if you don't want to. That's the beauty of it. Unlike the ones you buy in the store that's very expensive in little jars, they add what they want, and it's usually got MSG, it's got a lot of salt. If you do your own, you control those things and you keep it healthy, you keep the sodium where your family wants it, and it's not just full of fillers. So let's get started and let's make some seasonings. Really, it boils down to nothing more than measuring some things out. And it's so simple, but it just seems to be intimidating to people. So the first one I'm gonna make is the Cajun seasoning. And we're gonna start with 1 tablespoon of salt. Now, that sounds like a lot, but there's a lot more to this. And you could use less, or you could actually not use any if you wanted to keep it salt-free. That's your choice. I'm going to use half a teaspoon of paprika. No, I think I'm going to use 1 teaspoon. So I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of paprika. That's sweet paprika. There's my cat again. I'm going to use half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Again, this is a choice if you want to use it or not. And I think I only used half a teaspoon of that paprika. I'm going to use another half teaspoon. So, a tablespoon of salt, a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of ground cayenne pepper. We're going to use half a teaspoon of onion powder. And if you've ever cooked Cajun food, you'll recognize these ingredients. I'm going to use 3/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, because I like garlic. We're going to use half a teaspoon of ground black pepper, and I like coarsely ground, but you can use fresh ground, whatever you like. This is just, it's not going to be fresh ground in the mix, so it's not that big a deal. Going to use half a teaspoon of thyme. Maybe a heaping one, because thyme is a very important ingredient in Cajun food, I think. And half a teaspoon of dried oregano. Now, I'm going to have to get more because this is homegrown and it's still pretty coarse. In fact, I think I'm going to use the mortar and pestle. And a little bit more. Got all these ingredients, so I'm having to look through them because it's for both recipes. And we're going to use a half a teaspoon of rubbed sage. This is one you may or may not want, but that's up to you. And then I have ground cumin, and I'm going to use not quite a whole quarter teaspoon of that. Mix it up really well. And I think I'm going to grind it a little more because some of that oregano is still pretty coarse. And there we go. There is my Cajun seasoning. I'm going to take a little taste. Oh, that's so good. I would use this on chicken. I would use it on pork. I would use it in stir fries. It's got a little bit of a bite from the cayenne pepper, but you can reduce that or just realize that this is going to be in larger ingredient. It's not going to be as concentrated as the taste I just took. So there is my Cajun seasoning. Now I forgot to add to my Cajun seasoning some dehydrated celery. So I'm going to take, now I've been breathing these spices and I got the sniffles. I'm going to take about about a teaspoon. Now we're going to do another half. So about a teaspoon and a half. And we're going to also grind that up into smaller bits. Because you always have onion and celery and usually peppers, but I'm not doing green bell peppers in this. But you usually have all of those in Cajun food. So I'm going to add that to it. We'll do this. And always, whether you buy spice mixes or whether you make your own, shake them up because they do settle. And there it is. You don't want to go through all the whole thing and then have mostly salt. That would not be pleasant. All right, now we're going to make my version of seasoned salt. And in my world, it starts with garlic. So we're going to use 2 rounded tablespoons of garlic powder or granulated garlic. And all of this spice dust is making me sniffle. I'm so sorry. Because there's a dust that comes up from it. And I don't feel like wearing a mask. We're going to use 2 tablespoons of onion powder. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of salt because I can always add salt, but you can't take it away. And I know it's seasoned salt, but I'd rather have the other flavors shine more. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of chili powder. And again, all of this is adjustable to your taste, your family. Now we're going to use about 2 tablespoons ground of dried parsley, but this is pretty coarse because again, it's homegrown. And it doesn't have to be super fine, but you don't want it big coarse pieces either. About like that. So let's see what I've got here. I know I'm going to need more. That's 1 tablespoon. Few stems in here. All right, close enough. And then we're going to use about 1/2 tablespoon of black pepper. And again, try and keep my head away from the, I don't know if you could see the powder coming up. There we go, seasoned salt. Now you can add more of something or less. Again, I'm going to taste. I think more chili powder. I'm going to use 1 more tablespoon because I'm not really tasting it. again, all of this is totally adjustable to what your family likes. That looks better to me. Smells better, but you know what? Something that I haven't used before, but it just sounds good to me, is some lemon powder, lemon peel powder. And again, I got this from Azure Standard. I love it. It gives that little bit of lemon flavor, but it's not coarse like dehydrated lemon peel. I'm gonna add maybe a 1/4 teaspoon. And that just kind of gives it a brightness. It just changes whatever you add it to, I think. And I bought that in bulk from Azure Standard, and I just love it. And you never know what you're going to use it for. Oh, that is so good. You could use this on vegetables. You could use this on meats. You could use it on roasted vegetables, French fries, pretty much anything. It's just got some nice flavors to it. And again, most of this you're going to have in your pantry. So we're going to put that. And I love these little 4-ounce jars. They are great for your seasonings. This one could actually use a little bit bigger jar. But I'd probably put this in a shaker to start using. But using canning jars helps keep these mixes fresher than if they're just in a plastic jar. And I'm sure it's healthier. Okay, so here we go. My homemade Cajun seasoning and my homemade seasoned salt. Again, shake them every time you use them. And shake it at Brian if he acts silly in the background, because he is. But use these instead of the ones you buy. You'll save a lot of money, and you'll make sure you don't get those nasty ingredients that none of us need or want in any of our food. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please go watch the other ladies' videos. Katie at Heritage Ways, Mrs. Lori at Whippoorwill Holler, Constance at Cosmopolitan Cornbread, and Tammy at Little Jordan Farms. I can't wait to see what they have to offer. If you enjoyed this, please give me thumbs up, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell. God bless, and we're going to talk again soon.